hate this game.
Hi gang, this week has been a test of sorts. And I don't mean the kind where you get to sit down and you have an hour to fill out all the little bubbles with your pencil. This has been a test. I was driving home from work a couple nights ago. I think it was Thursday night or Friday night. And I'm driving home, dilly, no problems whatsoever. And I look down at my temperature gauge and it's going, yo, hot, I am so hot, oh, So I had to pull into a gas station that had, the water, so I could check the radiator. I opened it up, and there's water in the radiator. This is interesting. Put water in there, check the oil, yeah. Well, it turned out that my car had a nervous breakdown. And what it wound up being was the thermostat, which is fortunately a rather inexpensive fix. But for 2 days, I did not know what was wrong with my car. And keep in mind that in a couple of weeks, I have to drive back and forth to Yavapai College for Kids again, which is an hour and 15-minute drive through a very hot area, flatland, desert, and, coyotes and skeletons and all that kind of thing. And I was not sure if I was going to be able to do it because I didn't have a car. So I spent more time worrying about my car than I did about anything else. However, everything is back to as normal as it gets for me, and today we are going to go out to the Adventureland Porch, right out there, and do something with that reed that I showed you last week, and I kind of sort of started on it. But one of the first things I want to tell you about is when you work on an apartment porch, you don't live there, or well, you live there, but you don't own it, so you have to be kind of careful on how you secure things to walls and so forth. So what I am using to secure all this stuff is hot glue. Hot glue will hold it up there for as long as it needs to, but it'll also peel right off, and it'll peel off the wall without peeling off the paint and all that kind of stuff. So if you're going to do any of these goofy things, like make your own Adventureland porch, or your, whatever, Frontierland porch, whatever, remember that if you live in an apartment complex, they will not love you anymore if you put stuff on there that when you take it off, it goes and then the building falls over. That would not be good. We don't want that to happen. So let's go on out there and see what's going to happen with that there reed. Okay, we're out here on the porch and getting ready to hot glue some reed up on a corner over here. Now let's go over two things about hot glue. One, it's hot. Two, it's glue, which means that it will burn you and it'll stick your fingers together so you can't pry them apart to put Bactine on them. So when you're using hot glue, even though it is used by crafters worldwide, be careful you don't get it on you because it burns and it does not feel good when it's burning. Not that things that burn you normally do feel good. This hot glue gun is pretty old, but it still works. So consequently, we will use it today because I can't find the other one. And I have new containers of glue. One thing you do not want to do is hot glue houseflies to the side of your building because it just doesn't look right. And it's unfair to the house. This is stuck here with a little bit of modeler's glue just to hold it in place until I get the hot glue out here. What we're going to do is we're going to tab it here. We'll tab it here in the corner, and then we'll tab it here to the edge and then cut it. And that will put a little bit of reed here. Now, you don't want the reed flat up against the wall because you don't want it to be flat. You want it to have some shape to it because that way it will look more like you're out in the wild things and not gluing it to the side of an apartment building. So we're going to go right here. We're going to pull this back just a tiny little bit, get it off that glue that was there. Put a couple of beads of hot glue here and hold that in place and try not to touch it where the hot glue comes between the pieces of reed and burns your fingers. See how quickly that works? Instant, zoom, fast. Of course it's not set yet, but Neither am I. And we're going to put a little down here as well. Now, when it sets, it's generally pretty solid. It'll hold things really well. But it's also very easy to take off, which is why I use it in props for the studio as well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put some in the corner, and we're going to put the reed up against the corner, and then slide it out to the door, and then cut it at the door line. Now you may have noticed that it's not quite as bright out here as it normally is when I'm filming. That's because we are in monsoon season, and we have monsoons coming in, and so we have lots of overcast. Okay, there's our hot glue. I'm going to take this, move it over here, just kind of shove it in the corner. Ow! I found the glue! Put that right in the corner. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple of push pins and stick it in the side of the door jamb, and then put the reed behind it. Then we don't have to glue there, but I will glue there anyway to make sure that it stays. Okay, so there's that little corner. There's hot glue in this area here, a little bit right there, right here in this corner. And then, let's see, here's a push pin here, which is actually here to hold this ivy on, and down here, and it's also wrapped down below. So this is in place. It's just a little corner, but when I get to this corner here and that side, it's going to look pretty awesome. And here's my rest of my reed. So I have plenty to do all of this, what I'm going to do. And I probably won't go any higher than that. I might get the taller stuff and do this wall with the taller stuff so it kind of encompasses the whole scene, but we'll see what happens. And then leftover I'll use on the fence. Should be pretty spiffy. Okay, well there's more going on here with the Adventureland Porch. I'm putting the reading up on the door. I'm not going up the whole side of the door yet. That's not to say that I won't do it. This corner here came out looking pretty good, although it is a bit low, but the idea is there, and this will, should the day ever come where I must move away, this will peel right off and it won't leave any mark on the wall or anything. So what I'm going to do now is finish this part of the door, and then I'm going to move everything to this side that you can't see because it is past the camera. I have broken the fourth wall, and I have to take a lot of this and move it this way so I can put the wall behind it, so we'll see how that works out. Wasn't too accurate with the hole for the door handle here, but close enough for rock and roll. Okay, then finally you can see that we have a push pin in here, and that's not going to be there. That's there to hold this against the door while the glue sets. There's another one down there, and the ones over here I've already taken out. So let's back up and have a look. Looks okay. There'll be just a little bit more plant life going around the rim of that door, so that'll look pretty cool. You know, for quite a while I've been talking about the games that I'm working on for Kid Stuff Games. And, you know, there's a lot of work involved. It involves cast members that become part of the games. But I've never really shown what the games actually look like and how they play and so forth. Because actually I've never had the ability to do it. I have never had the software to actually do a decent recording of gameplay. All I had was a camera pointing at the screen. Well, a while back I decided I needed to get a better computer, not just for the studio, but because I wanted to play some games. And I can't because I have an old computer. And it runs on XP. So, recently I got a new computer, which I am paying for, and paying for, and paying for. And I now have the ability to make some decent recordings of gameplay. So what I'm going to do right now, you're going to get to see some of the games that I'm working on. Now the one carpeting, which will probably be the first one I put on, that one is almost completed. I'm finishing up the last level and some little extras for when you finish gameplay and so forth. But I'm going to show you several different games that I'm working on. I'll do a little voiceover so you can see exactly what's going on. These are PC games, and we had a GoFundMe page for a while trying to get up some capital to be able to release them a little bit wider than just sticking them on the website. And I think we had a Kickstarter page also for a little while. But I want to show you what the games look like, and I'll let you know if we're going to do any more crowdfunding. It would be cool if we could do that. But here is some of the games. PC games, not console games. They may someday become console games, but right now they're PC games. And I don't mean politically correct games. I mean personal computer games. Okay, yes, I'm just blathering, so let's get to them. Okay, this is carpeting. This stars 3 of my Australian cast members. From left to right, that's Jordan, Luke, and Vanessa. This is the main start screen. This is where you can upgrade all your carpeting and your chances of special items and so forth. And the snatch repellent. The snatchers are the most common enemies you run into. They'll try to pull you and carry you off the carpet. The repellent stops them. Anyway, this is the first level. This is the tomb level. Basic control is the space bar. You push down and you go up. You let go and you go down. And you push the shift key to shoot the magic missile. The magic missile apparently has been updated, or upgraded rather, because it's bigger. And you can see here I'm being pretty accurate. And there's that guy. So you have to dodge walls. You want to get the gems, of course. That's how you upgrade things and move along. You want to shoot those gargoyles and don't let them catch you. They're the snatchers of this level. Oh, little bonus there. That's the Winged Witch bonus game. I'll show you that in a second. So it's a basic, running type game with a twist, and the twist is that you can fight back. Oh, there goes Luke. Now again, this is just the first level, and this, in relation to the rest of the game, is a pretty easy level. That giant flying thing blows wind straight down, which causes the carpet to fall faster, so you have to be careful how you control it. And you saw that one gargoyle break apart when you tried to snatch Vanessa there. Well, he succeeded that time, but she had snatch repellent before that. I don't know if you noticed, but when you pick up gems, the more people that are on the carpet, the more points you get for the gems, or the more gems you get when you collect them. The gem collection's on the left, the score is on the right, and that bar in the middle is the time it takes for your missile to recharge, your magic missile. Oh, this is not going well. One of the most important things you want to remember when you are picking up gems is not to bang into the ceiling. Yeah. Okay, well here's the Winged Witch mini game, and basically it's a guessing game. You choose which kid you think the witch is going after. Hopefully you're right, and in this instance, we were wrong. And so that kid gets carried off. You get a few moments of gruesome sequence of the person being put into the crew here, along with some other things apparently. And then if you look, you'll notice that that kid's name is scratched out. That's because they cannot start the next level. And with that in mind, let's take a look at a couple of the other levels real quick. This is the boss level for the tomb section. Every level ends with a boss battle. Each one is a little bit more different and a little bit unique in how you take down the enemy. Not everyone is a straight up fight. Well, they're fights, but not one where you have to keep shooting at the bad guy until he blows up. Circus in the Sky level. It has all kinds of strangeness going on about it, including clowns on bikes that are suspended by balloons and they shoot pies at you. See, I'm kidding, just watch. The animated anarchy, a cartoonish level. The hazards become slightly more plentiful and also come from more directions. And this is the briny deep. Now that's not a shield around them, that's a bubble, because they're underwater, don't you see? The little vial there is the snatcher repellent. And this is the outer space level, and for the life of me I can't remember what it's called, but it's the outer space level. There's also a level that looks like your home, but it turns out to be kind of a dream or nightmarish version of your neighborhood, which comes after this one. Different games. This is Farronlands. This is a oh, look at that.
Hello, what do you need?
Another one where you can level up things. And this is a side-scrolling, not a platform game, but it is a side-scrolling game. It does have some platform elements. Your character, Hayden there, is carrying some magic fairy dust as she got transported to the Farronlands when she accidentally stepped into a fairy ring of mushrooms. So now she must find her way out, watching out for all the denizens of the Farronlands, witches and goblins and fairies and man-eating plants, among other things. The first several levels take place in the fairy fields, and then after defeating the fairy boss, should you make it that far, you'll go to the next level. There's a haunted house, there's a cemetery, there's the fairy town itself, which is the Mushroom Town. Mushroom Town. And all that kind of fun stuff. And that's something you don't want to throw dust at. Now, of course, as the game goes on, you'll find different types of dust that work on different enemies. This is the Graveyard of Nightmares, complete with vampire bats, hidden graves, witches, more Farron, and so forth. Of course, collecting the coins is what you use to upgrade your character and buy different types of spells and different dusts to use. And that's the file. Okay, the next game up here, this is called Sketched. And this is about a boy who was sketching in his notepad, fell asleep, and something in the notepad pulled him into his drawings. And so he must traverse each page of his notebook that he has been drawing in to find out what snatched him away and how to get home. So everything that he's dealing with are drawings that he's made. This game is unique as there is no real sound effects. The entire game is music. So when good things happen, when bad things happen, the music changes. The music's different for each level. The sound effects are music. Like you saw the little hypnotizer eye there, the iBot, or whatever it was called. When it shoots its beam, it is a guitar sound. So everything in this game is music. There's no sound effects per se. And you should not stand on a cloud in one spot for too long. So this game goes through all the pages in his notepad, and in some of the pages in his notepad he was just scribbling, and that's when things get interesting. This here is a cave, and you see he found a pencil there, and that pencil allows him to draw a box that he can use, and later he'll find another sketch pencil that allows him to draw a triangle, and one that allows him to draw a straight line, and one that allows him to draw a circle. And he can use these to get to the different levels and be able to escape from his drawings. Now the box drawn there, I just drew that there so you can see it. There's a more practical use for it. So the only person he has to blame for all the horrors he faces is himself, because he's the one who drew them all. This is actually kind of a neat game to play just for the music. Some of it is jazzy, some of it is rock, some of it is like this kind of rhythmic. This apparently is an older build, because I just noticed he jumped through the iBot. Generally, if you jump into one of those, you'll destroy him. Here's a hazard of one of those things. He's hypnotized for a few seconds and he can't move. This is not a good place for that to happen. Okay, this last one I'm showing you, this is just a skeleton. This is not an semblance of a finished program or a finished game. This is for Deep 6, which was actually the first game that I created way back in the day using, I used Game Maker or something, I can't remember what I used. But it was a pretty cheesy little game making program that only run like 256 colors, and it was like 640 by 480, something like that. So this is just, this is just a basic idea. The obligatory quick save bit. Can't have an adventure side-scrolling game without a hole in the ground. This game actually has a cute little story, and most of the games have opening and closing cinematics, but I didn't want to get that far into showing that. I wanted you to see the gameplay. And the gameplay on all these is smooth. The games are pretty much, they're very similar, because the fact is, it's just, kids in these adventures. I gotta fix that, it looks so silly. Well, there you have it. Another week of excitement, thrills, adventure. Too bad none of them were on this video, but anyway, now you have an idea as far as games are concerned and what's going on in the Adventureland Porch. Next week, this episode, I grant you, came out a little late, but next week I'll try to get back on track, and I'm going to be doing more work on the patio. I'm planning on possibly doing another road trip. I don't know if that's going to happen because I have to conserve on fuel because I'm going to be driving to and from Yavapai College again next week. So that means not next week, meaning this week is next week from last week, so it'll be the week after that week, after the 11th. So I'm not sure if that's going to pan out, but I will be starting the new class, and I'm probably going to do a little bit of a shoot in the new class and so forth, so you can see what's going on there. But now you know more about the games and the patio and all that wonderful stuff in my broken car, which is now fine. And I think that just about wraps it up for this week. So next week, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there'll be some good stuff. Gooder stuff, maybe. Who knows? In the meantime, you guys have yourself a great week. End of line.